Hi and good morning everyone. We are from group 5. So today we are going to present our group seminar presentation. Our topic is to discuss the social cultural changes that affect the health of the elderly in rural Malaysia. But first of all, what is social cultural change? Social cultural change can be defined as the alterations in mechanisms within the social structure. It is characterized by the changes in social organizations, changes in cultural symbols, changes in value system, and also rules of behavior. When someone is an advanced stage of life that is well past middle age, they might be referred as an elderly. So basically, elderly is the people that are from age of 65 and above. They are both male and female. And the common term that is related to elderly is ageist. Ageist is characterized by or showing prejudice or discrimination on the grounds of a person's age. It also often carries negative connotations and might suggest that someone is frail or in poor health. Next is rural area. Based on National Geographic 2012, rural area is an open swath of land. It has few homes or other buildings. It also has low population density. The primary industry in this area is basically the agriculture, and most of the time, wildlife is more frequently found in this place. In the year of 2050 to 2050, the population of the elderly are approximated to be double from 12% to 22%. Now, in the year of 2020, the elderly are more than the children that is younger than 5 years old. In the year of 2050, 80% of older people would live in low and middle income countries. So now, I will pass to the next presenter.
Next is regarding types of social cultural change. Socioeconomic status is one of the types of social cultural change. It is basically the combination of social and economic. It is include family economic status, sociological status, and also educational status. Socioeconomic status would affect the elderly because of their retirement and income. Most of the older people does not have work and have least income, which make them hard to make a living because nowadays the cost of living is high compared to before. So socioeconomic status is important to have a better quality of life. So quality of life of the elderly depend on their previous employment. If they have a good career before, then they will have a good quality of life and vice versa. So the next type is urban and rural life. There are the differences of activities of urban and rural people, whereby the activities of urban people, they're most likely to like manufacturing and customer service, while the rural people are most likely to do with environment, such as fishing and farming. There are also the differences in nutritional status and food intake of urban and rural people. For example, urban people is most likely to take fast food, and the rural people is most likely to take rice. Moreover, there are also some changes in rural area, and one of it is rural women empowerment, which is there no more abuse in women, and the women have more power than before. Some rural area also they have better facilities compared to the past. For instance, in Malaysia, some rural area have a better electrical resources and also a better education.
Okay, the next types of social cultural change are companion status. As we know, people need to communicate each other for keep life easier and to prevent misunderstanding and miscommunication. Same to elderly, who makes communication as a source to gain help from others. With communicating, it will improve the physical, emotion, and also the social health. Usually, the elderly will choose their communicator based on their emotional and psychological characteristics. For instance, the elderly will like to close to someone who dwell in listening problems. The right people will make the elderly more healthy, and if not, they would face social separation and isolate from society. The other types of social cultural change are beliefs and attitudes. Normally, older people are frail and dependent. They think they are burden to society, but it's totally not, due to ageist stereotypes, which lead to worse condition, which is discrimination. The older people usually tend to have geriatric syndrome, for example, loss in hearing and cataracts, that make them feel more burden to society. If people do not change these stereotypes, these elderly will feel close to death and problems of end of their life.
Okay, I suppose that there are times that we feel very lonely because our friends or family members are not able to accompany by our side due to circumstances. But when we are lonely, sometimes the negative thoughts would rush through our mind, right? So this also applies to the elderly. So when they are lonely, especially when they are experiencing chronic loneliness, this will impact their memory, their physical well-being, mental health, as well as their life health expectancy. So as a younger generation, and as a nurse, we should always talk to them, listen to them, understand their feelings. One of the best way to apply this is that we can prepare nutritious meal for our grandparents while talking to them while having lunch or dinner. There is this stereotype in this society saying that the elderly, due to their deteriorating organ function, the elderly, they are useless, they are a burden to the society. This as a result cause that the elderly, they earn the lowest respect, especially in high income countries. When these negative thoughts are all around the world, when the elderly, they hear about these stereotypes, they themselves also, they do not deny these stereotypes. So they would have this negative attitude about aging, and which will affect their physical and mental health. Those who feel that they are a burden to the society, to their family members, to their children, to their grandchildren, they would live life less fullest every day. They will think that their lives are less valuable, and then they will be suffering from risk of depression as well as social isolation. Research shows that the elderly who have negative perceptions about life, they do not recover as well from disability, and they would live on average less than 7.5 years compared to an elderly who has positive perceptions about life.
Thank you, Natalie. So now I will continue to talk about the effects of socioeconomic status in senior care. First of all, it will affect the psychological of aging individuals, because those who are at low levels of socioeconomic status are most likely to be diagnosed with psychological disorder. For example, malnutrition. Malnutrition is associated with an increase of depression on elderly women compared to men. As life expectancies rise, there will be a significant increase in depression and diagnosed with dementia among the elderly, because primary risk factor for both mental health is because they have the low level of socioeconomic status. Lastly is older women who are suffering with dementia. This is because they are found to be at higher risk of physical abuse and neglect by their family. Other than that, it is because of poverty itself, and the caregivers and also the victim have low levels of educations. Next is retirement and income. As we all know, older people do not work because they already retire, and they only have a few options to continue their life. At rural place, older people have less opportunity to go to the main hospital because they are far from the main hospital. Other than that, older people have no money to pay the medical expenses and have no money to pay the transportation where they have to go to the hospital. That's all from me. I will pass back on to Natalie.
Recently come across an article published in a journal which is regarding the rural lifestyle of elderly in rural area China, which I think we could apply it in Malaysian context. So first of all, the elderly, they play a role in taking care of their grandchildren. So the government also provides them with social support, such as provide them with elderly activity centers which offer entertainment for the elderly. Next, new rural pension scheme is also provided for the elderly who have retired, as well as a new rural cooperative medical which provides an account for the elderly that would cover their medical expenditures. Next, we should respond to the global strategy and action plan on aging and health, which is recommended by WHO, the World Health Organization. One of the methods is by being committed to healthy aging, and that the healthcare system should be aligned with the needs of the older populations. The age-friendly environment should be created for the elderly, as well as a nurse, we should always improve our measurement, monitor the elderly's progress, as well as understanding their feeling and thoughts, especially in providing care to